Hello and welcome to the Breaking Free podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Francis, and today I'm very grateful, very humble to be joined by Tanner again. We merge our podcasts every month or so, which has been great. We've delved into some pretty deep topics over the last 12 months. It's been quite the journey, Tanner. It's gone really quick. I was watching our last chat, our last New Year's resolutions chat, actually. I was watching it last night, and it's like, wow, things have come so far, and we talk a bit better, talk a bit slower, and yeah, it's just interesting watching that last night, mate. But it's always good to connect with you and chat with you. We go on epic tangents, but it does resonate with a lot of people. So what we're doing is right, and it's been really awesome. So Tanner, welcome. Going to talk about some New Year's resolutions today, part 2 of our one from last year. We'll put a link to the first one in the show notes for those that are interested in watching our one from last year. I did write a blog on New Year's resolutions last year too, so I'll chuck that in the show notes. I might even pen another one, actually. Might do a New Year's resolution blog part 2 as well, just to coincide with the podcast. Tanner, welcome. How are you, mate? It's awesome time of the year. How you going, and what's been going on? And welcome to the show again today, and happy to have you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction, Nathan. Yeah, always grateful to be on the podcast. We always have had a good chemistry together on the podcast and just talking, and then even off the podcast, we're good friends. So super grateful to have met you and have you in my life. And yeah, I totally agree. When we look back at like our first podcast we did together, it's just like, man, we've come a long way, right? Like
Yeah.
there's been a lot of conversations together, a lot of good memories together, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go for this next year. How we're going to bring it to the next level, how we're going to have some more roundtables that have been popping off. Those have been awesome experiences and really cool discussions. And yeah, I mean, it's a great topic to talk about today, right? The New Year's resolution. I feel like so many people wait for this time of the year to like change. Oh, the New Year's resolution's coming. I'm going to start working. I'm going to start doing all these things.
Yeah.
And that's great. I love that motivation, but at the same time, there's no reason to wait, right? New
Exactly.
Year's resolution is nothing different. Like, while it's a good thing to, I think I still create one. I used to believe I didn't really. I mean, I've always been changing throughout my whole life. Even more recently since we started working with Jason and everything like that. But for a while there, I wasn't making any New Year's resolutions because I saw that it was just a bunch of bullshit. I felt like, it was just a bunch of bullshit. But I've recently started to put more thought into it. Just in that part of like challenging myself to push myself even farther, which, I already am. But, hey, New Year's is coming around. How can I push myself even further this next year? Right. Thinking about it that way. And so that, this last year, actually, I did a gratitude practice, 5 things I'm grateful for every single day, and that has been really, really powerful for me in my life. Did you do one last year? I'm not remembering off the top of my head here.
Yeah, I know for me last year, I sort of journaled what I was grateful for from
Oh yeah.
2022, and then what sort of like some goals I had for 2023. I do a gratitude journal once, twice, maybe 3 times a week where I find things throughout my day or last couple of days, 5 things. I've always done that. I've done that for a couple of years now. 5 things I'm grateful for. Something that when I find the time, when I have the time, I sit down and yeah, it's a really powerful exercise actually. It really brings you down and you not brings you down, brings you up into that gratitude frequency to find, if you have that bad day where someone blocks you in traffic or someone's rude to you, disrespectful, it's like, well, you can still find, it's just one moment from a 12 to 24-hour day. It's like there's 24 hours in a day. There was at least something that you can find that you are grateful for, especially when you harping on that one moment or that one person. But like the sun might have been out that day. You might have gone into the ocean that day. You might have still done something for yourself. You might have even gone to the gym in the morning. You might have done something, but then you're harping on that negative. It's like that's just one moment, one person that's affected the day. It's just a matter of just changing that conscious awareness and that perception, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely helps you appreciate the little things more. And I think it also helps you appreciate like your bigger goals, right? Like so many of us are like, okay, I had this big goal, and then once you achieve it, you feel good, and then it's just like
Oh,
that
yeah.
realization that you had, like, I worked all this point to get here, just kind of goes away.
I
and
can
then you
tell you a
start focusing
story
on your next
about
goal,
that. I can
right?
tell you a quick
And
story
so,
about
yeah, let's listen to it.
that. I put the goal out there at the middle part of 2022 to move to Queensland. That was the big goal, to move to where I am now. And I move here, and then for about a month or two, I didn't have anywhere else to go. Like, I didn't have another goal. Interesting form of self-sabotage, Tanner. I didn't believe that I would get myself into that position, but it's like, well, I achieved
Mhm.
that goal, and then I was really pondering and I guess stuck on what was next. I got my 3 year, 6 month, 3 year, 6 month, 12-month vision boards up on my wall now, but that took me a while to get to the creation of that, because I was like, I've achieved this pretty big goal. I didn't really have a path mapped out for what was next. So, you see, it's spot on. We as a society, we have these big goals. Sometimes we do achieve them, and then that's it. You just, oh yeah, sweet. And you don't really have a plan for what's next. We don't really evolve into that either. I know for
Yep.
me, since now it's like, okay, I've sat down and knuckled down for my next 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. It's like, what do I want to achieve now? Yeah, awesome. I got to where I wanted to be, the physical place of where I wanted to be. Now it's like, okay, how can I expand from here? How can I evolve? How can I grow from where I am now to where the next phase is where I want to be? So it's like, well, the next phase of my life, all right, it's going to put it out there. I want to find a woman, or have a woman come to me, and we have a relationship, and then you build the family. That's the
Yeah.
next phase. That's on my 12 months. It's like, that can happen in 12 months.
Oh yeah,
It can happen
definitely. A
whenever it's
lot can
supposed to
change.
happen. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's my next step. My next step now is to build a family, and then to keep progressing and evolving and working on myself. So there you go. For everyone that's interested, that's my next goal. That's my next, um, yeah, I want that in my reality now. So I'm going to work towards that. And that's still bettering myself, still being who I am, but just working on those little things,
Yep. I love that. Yeah.
and
And
staying
then
in
like,
that, and then staying in that frequency to be able to have that happen on an energetic level.
yeah,
There.
that's super powerful. Like knowing where you're gonna continue going, right? Like I think that's why like I worked with Nakula and he helped me get like really my 10 year vision down. I think that was super helpful because then it's like, well, if I complete one thing, I still know this is what's in my future. This is what I'm working towards long term, right? The 10 year.
100%. Yeah.
So I think it's super extremely important. Like I don't think many people actually have like written down goals, right? And that can definitely change your life. And something you can start before New Year's. But I mean, since
100%.
it's around New Year's, anyone listening, start it now. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't know what you want to be doing in your future, really sit down, take some time to think about it. It's a fun experience to think about, right? Imagine where would you be living? What would the weather be like? Would you have the sun on you? Would you have, would it be humid in the air? Would it be dry? You prefer a colder climate? Would you like to have a family or, a partner or, what would that look like, right? Would you be working in a 9 to 5 job? Would you be working, in your own business? What would you be doing in your life 10 years from now? Like
100%.
it's something that feels a little weird sometimes thinking about and I know some people may be thinking, well, I'm never going to get there, right? I know I've had those thoughts in the past where it's like, well, yeah, I can think about all this stuff, but that's just gonna be like torturing myself. It's because I had a very negative mindset, didn't believe in myself at the time. And that's why I have I am enough written here on my whiteboard as a reminder. But I want you to know that if you already discourage yourself and you already don't believe in yourself, you're definitely not going to get there. If you're not
No.
planning for that, if you're not guiding yourself towards that, then you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. So believe in yourself, come up with the plan. That's how you get motivated. That's how you get the focus, and that's how you actually start to aim yourself towards the life that you want to be living. So I think it's super awesome that you were talking about that. And then my other point was what I was bringing up is that people have these big goals and they achieve them, and then they start moving towards the next goal or whatever, and they like take for granted the thing that they just accomplished, right?
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
they'll start thinking about like in their life, like, oh man, just my life's going horrible. It's like, well, look back a couple years and like you just achieved all this stuff. And you're
Ugh.
not, it's not satisfying you anymore, right? So like remember that you wanted to be in this spot only a couple years ago, and now you're here. So feel good about that. You're moving. There's progress. All right. Like a sign of progress. You are making the progress. Sometimes it's not as fast as we like to see it, but the gratitude practice is a great thing to bring you back to that and realize I am making progress. I am
Thanks for
moving to
sharing
where I
that,
want to be.
Tanner.
Yeah, of
That summed
course.
up, that just brought me back. Yeah. Thanks for that sharing that. That resonated with me so much, man. It was like a message that I needed to hear. And I
Mm,
know we're speaking for everyone, but it's like I needed to hear that reminder. Thank you for sharing that.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah, that's just gonna that seed will just grow, man. Yeah. Be appreciative. Like, yeah, I dreamt of being up here. Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. Now I don't really know what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, like you dreamed of moving up to Queensland, of having a big podcast, and that's grown so much, so big, of having a coaching practice, of starting to influence the youth, and now you're working towards that in multiple different aspects. Like you've come along a really far way. Now you're working out, like you are leveling up on all levels, man. So like, congratulations on that, and
Thanks, bro.
is you know realize that you are manifesting or creating your reality, and it's only going to continue to happen.
That's
Keep
it.
putting that work in. So,
And
yeah.
I sometimes get stuck in that too. I know I sometimes
Mhm.
get stuck in that impatience of, it's not happening now, it's not here now. It's
Oh
like I
yeah.
always talk about it, but I'm sometimes caught in that. But yeah, to have so the way I've set up, and I'm just going to circle back to something you said, that we have these goals and we have them written down. But if you really want to amplify that for anyone listening and watching, if you really want to amplify those goals, that vision board, whatever it is, put in there what does it feel like to achieve that goal. So for me, I have the generic vision board, like photos of strong, healthy, fit guys and good organic food and different things, money and different things on the vision board. But then I have like a piece of paper underneath it's like steps and what it feels like to achieve it. So you got that big goal, but you need baby ones, steps to achieve that bigger goal. But then you put in there, what does it feel like to achieve that thing? Well, I know on my old vision board when I was in Victoria, back where I'm from, I know I had in there that the feeling of moving up here would be the smell of the ocean, would be the sea breeze. It would feel the sand between my feet would feel grounding, would feel calming, would feel nurturing. It was those feelings. What's it smell like? It smells like the ocean water, the salt water when it's a windy day, you're walking past the beach and all you can smell is the salt. It's like that was amplifying that. So the feelings attached to the outcome amplified that happening. It's like, what does it look like? It looks like paradise. It looks like heaven on earth. It looks like crystal blue water, white sand. Like that was like the vision of it to then manifest that into my reality. Like the feelings and like if you really want to amplify those things, if you want something so bad, if you want that land or you want to achieve optimal health. You want to be a bit stronger. You want to be a bit healthier. Well, what does that feel like? What does it feel like to be the healthiest, strongest version of yourself? What does it feel like to nourish your body with clean water? What does it feel like to nourish your body with clean, organic, real whole food? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does that organic food taste like? It's like amplify and get those feelings into it, and then that changes the whole belief system. It changes the perception. Like it's like you're going to achieve that because you're
Yeah.
changing your perception, you're changing your frequency, you're changing your vibration by amplifying the feelings to then go, I'm achieving that. Not sure when. I don't put a time frame on them. It's like I'm achieving that. Because then you
I
start
love that.
envisioning it and then you start envisioning it, don't you? And I know for me,
Mhm.
mate, if someone's saying, oh, this is all woo woo, it doesn't work, yada, yada, yada. Well, here's the rebuttal. I'm here in Queensland right now. And I did that the last
Mhm.
12 to 18 months. So for anyone out there that wants to rebut this works. It's a matter of your belief system.
Yep.
If you
Yeah,
believe
and
if you flat out believe that you're not going to achieve that thing, Tanner, then you're not going to
Mhm.
achieve it. But if you
Yep.
believe and you have faith and you have trust, then you will achieve that thing. Doesn't matter what it is, you will achieve it because you believe you can. It's self-belief. So yeah.
Yep.
Gonna
No,
move
no,
on.
the visualization, the motion, that's super important, man. And
Yeah.
professional athletes, they use visualization, right? Well, professional hockey players, rock climbers, they envision themselves going out there catching the puck and scoring, or they envision themselves climbing up the rock a certain way, right? So like it's used not only within people's lives, but in like professional sports and stuff. So it's been proven to work. And then even beyond that, I mean, as self-sabotage coaches, we know just how much the visualization, the emotion, that all plays a mind in your subconscious mind, right?
Mm.
That's why TV is so powerful because it invokes those like the visualization, the emotion in people. And so, if we can do that within our own minds, because let's be honest, we all have that like that imaginative, creative power. A lot of us have been like trained to believe we don't have that like that ability to be imaginative anymore. Oh, we're not when I was a kid I did, but now I don't, right? But it's just like a muscle. You gotta work it, you gotta build it back up. And that's actually something I do in my daily practice as well, is I do that vision when I go through my vision board, I imagine the property me and my wife are gonna be on with my son. I imagine we have a natural swimming pool, so it's like filtered through actual plants and things like that. No chlorine, no salt, anything like that, but just a natural swimming pool. And I imagine me and my son jumping in there, swimming, playing. I imagine us, running through the grass and picking apples from the orchard. I imagine us, going through our organic garden and picking little cherry tomatoes and eating those, right? Like I actually take myself through our property and imagine ourselves. Like I imagine ourselves driving up. I even have it pictured in my head right now. Like the entrance to it has a little gate. You go through the gate, and there's just a bunch of trees you have to drive through, a winding path, and finally it opens up, and you just see like beautiful greenery, a nice, beautiful house. There's an orchard, there's organic garden, greenhouse, natural swimming pool. And like I have that image like in my mind because I've gone over it so many times. And like it is a really powerful thing to do, right? I'm even like imagining myself with another child because me and my wife are soon looking at going down that route, right? So like, we want four total. And so that is something
Oh,
else to think about. Yeah, four total. Yep, I come from a family of four, and we're big, nice family. Who knows? That may increase once we get a more land. So I think
I'm looking
it's
forward to your daughter coming into the world, mate.
yeah, me too, man. And it's like it's powerful, like bringing another life into the world, right? Just watching another like I've learned so much from this little guy,
Mm,
Oliver, and like he's like I'm teaching him so much, and it's just amazing having a son. So I'm excited for when you get your family, and I know you're going to achieve that. No
thanks,
doubt
mate.
about that, Nathan. And yeah, I mean, just the power of visualization and emotion, like feeling that feeling, is no doubt like super impactful to your subconscious mind, and it does impact your life, right? Going forward, if you guys can practice this stuff, it doesn't have to be for a super long time. Practice it for a couple minutes every day, then you can start to increase the amount, right? It doesn't have to be for 30 minutes or whatever. It can be 10 minutes before you start your day, and 10 minutes before you go to bed. And
Yeah.
definitely recommend at least doing it before you go to bed.
Yes.
And you're
Look at the
thinking about
goals.
it as
Yeah.
you're laying down, right? It's super powerful.
Look at what you're
Yep.
going. Well, look at what you want to achieve, and then
Yep.
read it out to yourself, and then read the feelings and read the emotions, and then envision that before you go to sleep. Powerful, man.
Yeah.
Powerful, bro. Powerful. You think with the New Year's resolutions, though, I just want to circle back to something you said earlier,
Yeah.
and I sort of did a post about it the other day too. It's like why people wait. We'll just get through the Christmas New Year period, and then I'll start going to the gym, and then I'll start. There is actually nothing stopping you from starting right now. You can
Hmm.
go tomorrow. I'm Christmas Day here tomorrow. We're filming this on Christmas Eve, where I'm from in Australia. I'm going to the gym tomorrow morning. Like nothing changes just because it's the holiday season. Like,
Yeah.
and then yeah, people like they wait for that right moment, that right. They think of an excuse. Oh, I just got to get through a birthday, or get through the Christmas New Year period, or get through this, get through that, and then I'll start. I'm just start now. Start right now, right here, right now. Drop and give me 20 push-ups. Like, start right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something
It's a
that the reason
huge
why I felt
program.
like it was a bunch of. Oh, I mean, when you tell yourself you're not going to do it until later, that's putting your mind that's not important. That's
Yeah,
putting your mind that
exactly.
that's not going to happen. Like that's if you want something to be done, start now. Talk to yourself in the present, in the present tense, that you're going to do it now. And I mean, it's interesting that you brought up the holiday season, like people not doing things. Like, think about like how many holidays there are in a row where people are just putting a bunch of like junk food and pies
Alcohol,
and desserts and alcohol
alcohol.
in their bodies. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right? Like it's a big like at the very end of the year, and then people like, oh, I want to change. I just did all this stuff to myself, and they know it was wrong because obviously they're trying to make up for it now. And now they're here at the New Year's and they're like, I want to lose that weight I put on. I
The
want
programming.
to get back on track, right?
Mm.
Lots of programming for
The
sure.
programming is intense. You see it on the TVs and everyone talks about, even on the radio, like you get those bullshit radio shows. They always talk about the holiday season and drinking beers and doing all this shit. It's like you're hearing that and you think it's cool, you think it's right, you think it's what everyone does. Well, no, it's not. That's And then you see it on the TV. What Like everyone's drinking their beers or their alcohol or their wine over their Thanksgiving, Christmas lunch, dinner. It's like, and then you see the movies, they're all partying and drinking and getting wasted and getting drunk, doing all this shit. It's like when you watch that, your perception of that is this is cool, this is safe, this is normal. See, if you're listening and watching this, can you see how you're programmed to literally go and destroy yourself from watching a screen, watching actors on a screen change your perception of reality and change your perception of yourself to actually go and do these things? When you take back that conscious control, that conscious thought, then you're not inclined to go and do those things because you're like, hang on a minute. This is leading me towards my worst life, my worst self, my gutter of misery. This is actual poison. And I trigger a lot of people when I call alcohol and coffee and some of these things out. It is poison. It's literal poison. And you've been programmed since you were a kid to go and drink this stuff, to go and do these things, to a point to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this later after the holiday season. After you've just finished destroying yourself for 2 or 3 weeks, then I'll start. Well, how
Yeah.
about you walk that path now so you're not destroying yourself and then make those changes?
Mhm.
Because when you really delve into why all this stuff's here, Tanner, and we've done it so many times, like it's all here to destroy you, to destroy your innate human potential, to destroy your intuition, to destroy you and your soul from connecting, to keep you in a state of terror, fear, panic, depression, all these lower frequencies, all these lower emotions because of it's just how it's all set up, Tanner. It's like if you can just spend 10 minutes away from a screen, away from these things, and just sit with yourself, you'll learn so much. You'll go, well, hang on. Am I drinking because I'm stressed? Am I drinking because my parents drank? Am I drinking because I'm worried? Am I drinking because I'm sad? I'm lonely? And then you start to figure out why you actually do those things. And you go, well, hang on a minute. When I'm stressed, and then you start thinking, what's another way to deal with stress? Well, I'm not going to be inclined to pick up a drink anymore or a vape or da 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 da. Oh, no. I'm going to sit with myself and go, I'm just going to do some box breathing. I'm going to breathe in through my nose and hold for 4 and then breathe out for 4 and just relax and then figure out, be like, okay, maybe that's a better habit or a better practice to calm the stress rather than picking up the bottle, picking up the vape, going to the woman, doing or to the man and doing those things. Like when we actually sit with ourselves and we can learn so much, Tanner, can't we? Just by putting those distractions down, putting those habits or putting those bottles down and just going, hang on a minute, why do I do these things? It's just gaining that self-awareness. And the New Year's resolutions is exactly the same thing because you see it on the TV and in the movies as well. They're like, I'll get better next year, and then they're going and destroying themselves. Like, how many times? It's like that repetition of. It's on a repetition basis, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because it's a cycle. You know, people do it every New Year's and they don't usually stick with their goals, right? Like how many people buy a gym membership at the beginning of the new year,
Don't
go a
go.
couple months and stop, right? They don't go, or maybe they don't even go at all, right? Like it's interesting. I mean, we know that's because self-sabotage and they're drawn to the familiar, but it's also something that's been like normalized in our society now. So people like, yeah, make a New Year's resolution and nothing really comes of it, right? Like you don't like hold a lot of people don't hold themselves to their word anymore. And I think it is really interesting you're talking about how like just stop and slow down and think about like, is this actually going to help me, right? And that is really important. That's how you can stop, you know, just acting from your subconscious mind and just running off the programs and start to actually run more consciously, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, we know that like 90 to 95% of your daily thoughts and actions do come from your subconscious mind. Many people actually probably don't realize that, but the majority of your thoughts and actions are just coming subconsciously. That means other people are programming you or society, your parents, whatever it may be, and you're running off those programs. But if you can start to become more consciously aware, you can actually reduce that time and you can start to put your own pathway to, you know, you start to program yourself towards your best life. And really, for me, I know why I was drinking and smoking and all the time because I felt frustrated with where I was in life. I was trying to distract myself because well, one, everyone else was doing it, so why not? And
Mm-hmm.
two, because while I felt like a failure, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I was scared of putting myself out there. So instead,
Mm.
why not just do what everyone else is doing, act, you know, fit in with everyone else and just get high and drunk and get twisted and, you know, distract myself with everything under the sun instead of actually facing the pain, instead of facing that the fact that hey, I got myself to this spot, right? Like a lot of people I think don't want to believe that they're the reason why they're at that point in their life. And it can be something that's hard to come to terms with, right? Like I got myself to the spot. I can't really blame anyone else.
But
Sure,
they
some
do
things may have
anyway.
happened in my life. Yeah, things may have happened in your life. But at the end of the day, you can only control the controllables. And really, at the end of the day, the only thing you can control is yourself and the way that you act, the way that you think, the way that you go through life. And if you want something better in life, then you're going to need to put some work in. It's going to look at like taking some time to sit with yourself and ask yourself, are the things that I'm doing because I actually wanted them because they're actually going to bring me towards my best life, or are the things that I'm doing going to bring me towards my worst life, right?
100%.
Are is it because someone else told me to do so? Is it because I sat on the TV, right? And I mean, you and me both have talked about how much we've been influenced by television. Like we were both in like the Step Brothers and all those
Oh
like
yeah.
stupid movies, right? Like where they're party boys and they're jokers and they're like class clowns and they're just making fools of themselves. Like we both like I know I've in my life I used to always quote those movies all the time.
Same
Like
here, man.
I'm just like oh, I'm in a social situation, I'm just gonna throw this random quote and people are gonna laugh. And people would laugh. And it's just like that's how I fit in because I knew people already saw that stuff, right? And that wasn't me at the end of the day. That was just some TV show, some movie. I wasn't expressing myself the way I could have, and I wasn't actually making like an authentic connection with someone, which I think is important to think about too.
100%. And that was a really good little couple of minutes there, man. That was really powerful what you just said there. And it's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we do these things because everyone else is doing it. We just sort of just go along, get along that tribal mindset of, wow, Joey's doing it, so I'll do it. You know, it's if we can just stand in our power and be like, well, that's Joey's journey. I'm going to choose not to do this now. I'm going to choose not to pick up that drink. I can go to a pub and have a glass of water now. I can sit with a group of blokes that are drinking, but I don't surround myself with drinkers and smokers anymore, man. You know, my whole tribe's changed. And when you start working on yourself the way that you are, well, then those people in your life that you did those things with may not evolve and change and grow with you. That's okay. But then you're going to meet people that are your way inclined, that are doing the things you're doing that might be a couple of steps ahead. So you go, oh, he or she's got what I sort of want. I'm just going to see what sort of things they're doing, how they're operating, be like, okay, well, this is how I can do it my way. And yeah, it's interesting because people in my circles, including you, Tanner, have got some stuff that I haven't got. And it's like, oh, yeah, surround myself with people like this, learn from them, like a sponge, and just seek the advice. And I know since surrounding myself with you, man, I've just listened, and yeah, it's been good. It's been good to have you as a friend in my life. You got the family, you got the stuff that I've got. I know that I'm going to have one day. It's like, well, Tanner's sort of got it going on. I sort of just going to be like, oh, well, what's Tanner doing? How can I do it my way? And yeah, it's just awesome. Because when we did that last round table with Paul, we can put that in the
Yeah.
bottom as well. Oh man, I learned so much just from like the soul of the child. And yeah, it was really awesome, that round table. I have to put a link to that in the bottom too.
Yeah, that was a good talk for sure, guy. It was, yeah, and I feel the same way, man. I actually do learn a lot from you. You may look like I have a lot more stuff than you, but then we have our own special things, right? Like we have
Yeah.
our own things going on, and so I take a lot from you as well, Nathan. So
Cheers, man.
it's definitely you know, not just all give or not all take, but it's a beautiful relationship here. So but yeah, man, it is really important like who you surround yourself with, and you will notice that might change. And I think when people are like thinking like, oh, is this going to align with my life? It brings us back to what we were talking about at the beginning with like knowing where you're going, right? And I think that's
Mm.
what also gives you the motivation to stop doing these things is if you have a powerful enough dream, if you know what you're working towards and how amazing it's going to be, and you visualize that and you felt that, you've like lived it in a way because you visualized it, well, then you're like, I mean, if I do this stuff, I'm not going to be moving towards that life. I can, you can picture yourself if you continue going down the same route of smoking and drinking and just partying and, you know, goofing off instead of actually putting in some work towards the life that you want. Are you going to actually be the person that you want to be in 10 years? Or
Mm.
you're going to be looking back and thinking, shit, man, I should have went back and I should have done those things back then, right?
Yeah, then you're sitting
Like,
in regret.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can always change. I'm a big believer that, it's never too late, but then the
No.
day, why wait? The best time to start is now. There's no going to be no perfect moment to change. No, like then the year, it's not a perfect moment to change. The perfect moment is now, this very moment. If you guys are hearing this, you guys are looking for that like sign that it's time to change. It's right fucking now. It's right now.
Yeah.
Like right this moment.
It's interesting because the decisions we make in the moment, is on impulse sometimes, or it's on the subconscious program. And then that thing happens, like you go on that binge drinking session, you wake up the next morning and go, why'd I do that? How about you change that perception? And then before you pick up that drink, how am I going to feel tomorrow? Am I going to regret this? Am I going to feel like I shouldn't have done this? How am I going to feel? How's my future self going to feel if I do this? It's like going to the gym too. How am I going to feel if I don't go? If I don't go, I'm going to beat up on myself. I'm going to feel unworthy. I'm going to feel like I should have gone. I'm going to sit in that regret. It's like, I'm just going to go
Mhm.
because we have that conscious awareness to go, well, this is going to impact these things in the future. We're not acting on impulse, not acting on subconscious programs. If you can get into that state, it's like if you ask me why I don't drink. Well, if I was to pick up a bottle right now and go on a binge drinking session, I'm going to literally feel in the coming days, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Don't know why I did that. It's that regret. I don't want to be in that regret. I don't want to regret. It's like I choose not to do that because of how I'm going to feel later, not in the moment. In the moment, I'll probably just be like, what am I doing? But it's like we don't have that thinking or that process. Be like, well, how am I going to feel after? Same as watching porn, man. Like that's changed
Yeah.
my perception on porn too. It's like, well, if I'm feeling inclined to put that on, I have that process to go, hang on, I'm going to really beat up on myself after the fact. I'm going to go, I shouldn't have done that. That's our best stuff just shot off in the sheets. That's our life force. I'm going to beat up on myself in the coming days for doing that thing. I don't want to be in that stage, so I'm not going to turn that thing on. There's no way. And it's like, okay, if you ask me why I wake up at 5 to 6 a.m., it's a bit later now, given I'm not as early. It's like, well, why do I do that? Well, I do that because if I don't get up and go to the gym and do something, then I'll lay in bed all morning, and I don't want to lay in bed all morning, and then I'm going to beat up myself for laying in bed all morning. It's like, well, I'm just going to get up and do it. Get up and do it. Face the day, And there's more hours in the day when you do wake up early. It's like we change these habits, we change these perceptions, but we don't have the awareness or the conscious awareness to go, well, how am I going to feel in the future if I do this thing right now? We just do it on impulse. We just do it because Joey's doing it, because Phoebe's doing it. It's like, well, hang on a minute. How am I going to feel in the coming days, minutes, moments, hours after I do this? And then you'll go, well, shit, maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll do this instead. Like, how are you going to feel if you went to the gym tomorrow at 6 a.m.? You're going to feel fucking good, aren't you? How are you
Yep.
going to feel if you just lay in bed all morning and then wake up and, do you get what I'm saying, man? Like, change that
Yeah.
perception of, oh, well, how's future me going to feel if I do this?
Yeah, definitely. That's a super powerful thing. Like, what is future me gonna think about this? What's my future kids gonna think about this? You're like, how is this gonna affect everything, right? And I want to touch back on like the impulse thing, right?
Yeah,
The impulse, like you get that thought that
that
keeps
rush,
popping up in your head,
that
the
adrenaline rush.
craving, that urging, that you know, where's that come from? Because
Mm.
obviously it's just not you're not thinking, oh, let's bring this up right now. There's something pops into your head. It's your subconscious mind. It's like the way Jason explains it, right? There's a bunch of like you're standing on a concrete floor with a bunch of holes in it, and there's just a little someone on the bottom pushing little fortune cookie, little like scrolls through the floor, and you just pop up, and it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's time to drink. Oh, where did that come from? That's your subconscious mind, baby, pushing that in there, saying, hey, come on, you were going a little far away from your tribe. Your tribe's moving this way. It's time to come drink, right? And it's kind of like, we see in movies, you see the little devil on the shoulder. Well, a lot of times we don't have the other guy on our shoulder trying to argue against it, right? We got to be that guy ourselves and consciously be that guy, subconsciously. I got to first say that your subconscious mind is not like an evil devil at the end of the day. Subconscious mind is just working perfectly as designed. And unfortunately, it's been programmed, it's been hijacked by some pretty evil people or by just some very dark people that want to disempower you. So if you want to take back your power, you need to be that little angel on your shoulder. I'm not really religious either, but you got to be that little angel on your shoulder saying, "Hey, where's that going to get me? Is this really the life I want to be living?" Like challenge those thoughts that come to your head, those urges, those cravings, because it's be so easy to be like, oh, I just keep having the same thought. I keep having these urgings, right? Like I keep having these cravings for the McDonald's or the ice cream or the shake or the beer or whatever. But it's really slow down and take a second to like even just count down from five, four, three, two, one, take a deep breath, and then really consider where am I going in life? What is this
Mm,
going to get me there? Like, what is this really going to provide me? What's that like 2 seconds of flavor or a couple of minutes of like, or maybe
pleasure.
the night of being drunk, right? Or pleasure or dopamine fix. What's that really going to provide for you? Is it actually going to hold you back at the end of the day? Are you going to be waking up feeling like crap tomorrow? Is it going to be slowing down your digestive system because you just ate a whole bunch of McDonald's, right? Like, really think about it. Is it worth it to like attack yourself? Because that's what it is. Whether people really agree with it or not, like it slows down your body. It is an attack on your body when you are attacking yourself with alcohol. When you're attacking yourself with this junk food that, let's be real, a lot of this stuff is not really food. It's like Frankenfood. It's a bunch of chemicals shoved into some food-like products that are wreaking havoc on people's bodies. There's a reason, like, I think I said this in our podcast many times before. There's a reason why there's so many of us obese and diseased and addicted and full of depression and all of this. Besides just the emotions we've ever had, apparently the most medical advancements we've ever had, but yet all the statistics, all these things are rising, right? People are sick, people are depressed, people are anxiety ridden and obese. And if we want to take back our lives, then we need to start becoming more conscious. and be more consciously aware of the things that we're choosing. And, part of that starts with just creating your vision, just taking a moment to ask yourself in the moment, hey, what am I doing here? Is it going to bring me towards my life or farther away from it? Then, if you make a mistake, I know you've said it a couple of times, you beat yourself up. Please don't beat yourself up. It's not going to help. You've already punished yourself with the action alone. Forgive yourself, love yourself, and do better next time. That's how that's really like, I think what Paul was talking about in our last talk with spirituality. That's part of spirituality is learning,
Mm.
actual learning from the mistakes you made, right? Like punishment's not a good thing. We've been programmed to think punishment's a good thing, right? Like even me, I do that sometimes. I used to always be so hard on myself. And I find myself sometimes doing, I'm like, nope, delete that, get that out of my mind. I'm done with that. I find my wife sometimes doing that too. And it's like, we just gotta be nice to ourselves. Like we would never say these things to a loved one or a friend, but yeah, we're saying them to ourselves.
Mm.
It, it,
Powerful.
it's it's it really is powerful.
There's a
Yep.
beautiful quote in the gym, Tanner, that's going to sum up all that up. A winner is just a loser who tried one more time.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yep. Never give up, right? Like it's
Exactly.
not about perfection. It's about progression, right?
Yeah.
Some a quote that you and me both have internalized into our lives is, and we get so easy to get into that perfection mind state. But I didn't do it every single day. Who cares? Forgive yourself, love yourself, continue moving forward. Don't let that one day, don't let those couple days stop you from moving forward. Maybe take a moment to think about, hey, how did I feel when I didn't do the thing that I knew I should have been doing? If it was working out or eating healthier, did I notice I felt more sluggish? Did I notice I had more mental brain fog? Did I notice that I was more irritable? I was fighting with people more. I was picking random fights with my communication, right? I noticed that sometimes happens to me when I'm not like on my game or doing the things I want to be doing. It's like it's a way to punish myself.
Yeah.
um, so like take a moment to think about how these things are affecting you. And once you start to think about them, and journaling is a great way to do that. Like I love that you
Mm.
journal. I actually probably need to start journaling myself because I think it's a powerful way to reflect back on the year and look at that. So maybe that's my New Year's resolution I'm going to do is I'm going to start journaling and
Yeah.
add some notes in there. But yeah, so I mean, like I think that is a really powerful things to do is just to reflect and take a moment to think about it and just be kind to yourself. So important.
It is very important because a lot of people aren't kind to themselves. And I know I was one too that wasn't very kind to myself for such a long time. And you're getting that mindset, you're getting that habit of not, and then yeah, because we're taught from school that punishment's bad, punishment's good, and we end up punishing ourselves for the mistakes we make. Then we get in that fear state of not wanting to make the mistake. And yeah, we're just human, aren't we?
We all make mistakes.
We do.
It's
And it's
normal.
how we bounce back
And
from them and what we can learn from them so they don't repeat and happen again.
that's the real opportunity. I think it's interesting because I think I've heard a quote from, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how, the people who are successful are only successful because they learned from their failures. They didn't see failure as the end. They saw it as another
Mm.
opportunity to learn. Right? We're bound to make mistakes. When you move into a new like a podcasting or to starting your own business or working out, whatever it may be, you're bound to make a couple mistakes. No one's gonna be perfect at it. But what's important is that you are slowed down and aware of, hey, why did I make that mistake? Where did that come from? And then say, how can I learn from it? How can I become better? So I think that is really, really important for sure. I know that's something you and me both have done with our
Mm.
podcast and with our coaching. So,
Just nodding away because it's just so true, and it's just that gentle reminder, isn't
mhm. Yep.
it? Well said, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we've been going, what, 40 minutes now? Is there any, if we're going to sum up some of this, Tanner, for people out there, if someone's been listening to this and they want to make those changes now and they want something better, What would be your advice to that person to start their journey right now to achieving that goal?
Yeah. So what I would start, the very first thing I would do is think about that dream, right? Like I know we talked about this a lot on the podcast so far, but that dream, that vision is going to make things more crystal clear. This is going to give you that why, that purpose. It's going to give you something to fight for, right? And then start to take action towards it. Maybe break that dream down into a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, a monthly goal, a daily goal. And the daily goal oftentimes is overlooked, right?
Mm,
It's the small individual daily actions, right? If you want a six pack, you got to work out, you got to eat healthy. If you want to create a business, well, sometimes you're gonna have to do the things that you don't want to be doing that aren't as, glamorous or luxurious, right? You gotta do reach outs. You gotta actually put in the work and you're not getting paid, right? We're programmed to think that, hey, when I'm working on my when I work I get paid right away. But when you have your own business, it doesn't really usually work that way. Usually you work and you don't get paid until farther down the line, right? It's like it's kind of like planting a seed in the ground. If you plant the seed in the ground, you don't instantly get the fruits and vegetables. You gotta put in the water, you gotta give it love, you gotta put in the energy, you gotta let it grow, have time to grow. And so that's something that we all have. Gotta give yourself some time to grow, put in the daily work, and you'll see those results. And then on the day, if you're having problems with those, just ask for help. That's
mm.
the number one thing that I know has been changed in my life, how to help me move forward as fast as possible. And probably the reason why I'm at my point in my life that I am, I've worked with different people, right? I've had 3 different mentors. Paul Check, I've worked with Jason Christoph, I've worked with Nakula, and it has changed my life drastically. So, and then surrounding yourself with positive people. What about you? What would you give them?
Well said. I would write down what that goal is, and
Yeah.
I would then I would then envision that. I would then amplify with feelings and be like, what does it hear, taste, smell, feel like, see? What does it feel like to achieve that thing? And then go, well, what are the baby steps, as you said, daily actions every day that drive you towards it? So it won't be watching the TV, it won't be watching porn, it won't be smoking vape, it won't be drinking alcohol, it won't be doing these things because that's dragging us towards the life we don't want. But if we just take that the one simple step towards something better, then the rest of it will just follow. And it takes resilience, patience, and discipline to get to where you want to get to. And you're spot on with the whole business thing too. It's the same with life as well. You know, we put in those daily things and we get those results back. And the same as going to the gym too. You know, if we want that six pack, we're not going to go for 2 weeks and be like, well, I don't see a six pack, I'm done. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you put in the work over the course of time, and then you'll get that six pack. You'll have more than a six pack, you'll have quite a physical physique. And then it's like, well, you need to then do the emotional. Are you working on your emotions? So you know, when I found going to the gym, it's actually taken me back to go deeper into my I can't even talk, to go deeper into my emotions and to go deeper into my stuff that I'd already dealt with. It's just you're gaining that physical strength, but you're also gaining that mental strength and all the other strengths too, to then go back and go deeper into your emotions, deeper into your stuff, because you're developing that strength to then go back. And I know for me over the last 8 months, I've been going to the gym. I found myself going back to those dark places again, but I'm going deeper into them to learn more, to grow more, to evolve more, to transform more. It's not a negative thing anymore. It's like, well, I've got enough strength now to go, well, I'm going to go deeper into that. Why was I doing that? Why? And then you learn more about yourself too. It's like, well, you know, and if you want to simplify that, just sit with yourself and work out what it is that you want to achieve, and don't put any pressure on yourself. Don't put a time frame on it. Just set the intention and watch your life change. Because I know for me, I put time frame on things and then I would sit in the fact that it didn't happen, or it, you know, I think we can somehow release that and let that go as well. The pressure of time. It's like you want A, B, and Z done in 12 months. Sometimes it's not going to happen like that. You need to learn, you need to evolve and transform. It's like you will eventually get to Z, but it's going to take time. And we allow ourselves enough time to achieve that thing, then we will achieve it. But if we want that piece of land or that piece of property that you want, Tanner, and you're saying, I'm going to achieve that in 6 months, well, is that achievable in 6 months? Is that a goal worth achieving in 6 months? Could be, but you got to build it as well, and you got to grow the food and stuff. So it's a process.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's I
I can
love.
see you
Oh,
doing that in 2 to 3 years, maybe not 6 months, but it's like, okay, so that's your big goal. Well, what are those steps to get you there? What are you doing every day? You're showing up every day. Are you putting in patience, resilience, and discipline? Are you putting in the daily actions to drive you towards that? And that's what we need to start developing into our lives is we have that long-term goal. That's great. But what are the steps towards you achieving it? And it's something as simple as not drinking alcohol is a great step to achieving something awesome, especially if it's for optimal health. You can't have optimal health if you're drinking alcohol. You can't have optimal health if you're treating your body like a garbage bin. Like, you can't have these things if you're doing the opposite of what you want to achieve. You can't have more money if you're spending it on OnlyFans and porn. You know, you can't
mhm.
have more love if you're out chasing women from lust, having one night stands all the time, because then you don't know what love is. And then you're stuck in that. You're stuck in the lust. You can't have and achieve these things if you're doing those things that I just spoke about. So maybe it's time to turn your back on those things and then really go in deep and work out what it is that you want. If you want love, well, boys, you're not going to get love if you're watching porn. Boys, you're not going to get love if you're paying for OnlyFans. Boys, you're not getting love if you're chasing women in nightclubs just wanting casual sex. That's not love. If you want to meet someone, boys, become the best version of yourself. Show up every day. Go to the gym. Do these things. Drink more water. Be a leader, be a creator, help inspire those around you to be better. That will attract in your woman because women love leaders, builders, and creators. They don't love weak boys that just want lust and to use women. Women don't like being treated like that because I treat women like that. And I know firsthand that they don't like being treated like that. You know,
Yep.
if we can do these things, we can achieve greatness. And those things are put here to stop us from achieving greatness. So to sum all that up, take that first step towards something better. Whether it's the alcohol, whether it's the porn, whether it's just going to the gym, just go away and just do it. Don't think about it, just do it, and you'll feel so much better after you walk out of there and you go, shit, I feel a lot better now. Just set the intention, boys, women, anyone listening, set the intention. That version of you already exists. It's already quit that thing. Just merge with that person. I don't know about you,
Yep.
Tanner, but when I set off on this path, looking back in the last 3 years, I envisioned myself doing the exact thing that I'm doing right now. I envisioned that version of me because that version of me already exists. I'm living it now. I am that version. I became that version because I envisioned that version. What did I look like? What did I smell like? What did I taste like? What did I feel? I feel, look, and smell the way I smelt and felt and dealt in that all that 3 years ago. I am that guy now. So the next step is, well, what's that guy look like that has the family? What's that guy look like that's gone to the gym a couple of extra years and he's looking a little bit more physically strong? What's the business look like? What does that feel like? What does that smell like? What am I doing? Am I public speaking? Am I working in schools? Do I have my own school? What does that all feel like and smell like? It smells pretty fucking good. Tastes good too. Looks pretty bloody good as well. You know, and then to sum all that up though, to we set that goal. Don't put a time frame on it. Don't put pressure on yourself either. Envision that goal already achieved and put yourself in that moment of achieving it so you don't have the negativity of what if I don't achieve it? What if you do achieve it? What if you do achieve it? What if it becomes so spectacular and amazing that it's the greatest thing? And then you're not in that regret of I should have done it.
Yep.
Just set the intention of betterness and you'll get there. And you're spot on, Tanner. Progression, not perfection. We can't do all these things and be the perfect person, because I know about you, but I don't want to be perfect. I just want to be me.
I completely agree. Yeah, I loved your conversation. I love what your points were. Be yourself. That's super important, and love
In
yourself. And then
society today, it's very hard for people to be themselves because they fear the judgment. They fear how people are going to react to them. They fear all of these things. Well, change that thought. What if you are yourself, and the people that you are being yourself around appreciate it? They acknowledge it. They love it. It then encourages them to be themselves. What if it goes well? We ask ourselves these negative questions all the time. It's the same with New Year's resolutions too. We always sit in it. Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, no one ever asks themselves, what if it does work? What if it does work? What if that actually works out for you? Because then, as I've always said, and it always happens, is that we get to the end when it's time for us to transition out of these bodies and back into our soul form, the death process. We then regret, and we go, oh, I should have done this, and this, and you have those regrets of not doing it. It's like, well, doesn't matter how old you are, just go and do it. So then, when you're laying there, wherever you are, about to transition, you're like, grandkids, great grandkids, and family. You're like, I did that thing. I did multiple things. I achieved all this shit. I did all this wonderful stuff. See you later. You know, where would you
yeah, it
rather?
makes
And then you ask, if you want to journal something. If someone wants a journal prompt, what would you rather? Would you rather the regret, or would you rather lay there and be damn proud of the life that you lived? What would you, if you want a journal prompt, what would you rather?
it's true. And I just want to add a quote in here because you're talking about how like the regret and like you missed out on an opportunity. It's actually one from a hockey player, Wayne Gretzky, like one of the best hockey players of all time. But he had a quote where it's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
100%.
Now then, right? Like if you're not going to put yourself out there, well, it's not going to happen. You never know if it's going to happen though. So might as well put yourself out there. And I think it's really important what you're talking about, like being yourself, and like you're going to find people that are going to like that version of you, right? That's where actually we're going to get the real connection from. When you're being someone else, people aren't going to know the real you, and you're not going to feel like you've really connected with that person.
100%.
There's a lot of people in marriages who their partner doesn't know the real them, right? Allow yourself to be yourself and then connect with people that way. You're gonna find people who like you for who you are, and then you'll know that, hey, people actually like me for who I am. I don't have to hide this version of myself. I don't have to hide myself. And that's empowering. That's powerful. That builds up your ego. That builds up your confidence. That builds up you in life, and it allows you to move forward much easier, much more confidently, and then actually have real connections. And at the end of the day, I think big part about life is just connecting with other people, right?
Mm,
Making those actual connections. Like I think if anything, those last 3 years taught us is that people really value those connections. When people were shoved inside their homes and put masks over their face, they couldn't see someone else. That connection that we're all craving was being taken away from us, right? They're trying to distance us. They're trying to get us separated because they know that connection can really change the world. And if we can allow ourselves to be ourselves and connect with other people, that's really, really powerful. That's where you get a lot of energy. That's where you start to feel more confident and you start to move towards that life. And that will be a really powerful thing to do. So I know
here's a
for me,
good
it's been
here's
powerful.
a, here's a good quote that just came to me then. Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Yeah.
If you wish to see more love, more peace, more happiness, more harmony, more joy in the world, then be that. Be more loving, be more peaceful, be more harmonious, be more joyful, be more, be more. And then that will change the world by you internally being that changes the world. So be the change you wish to see.
It's true. I mean, I'm a big believer that if you want to change the world, it first starts with yourself.
100%.
And once you start to change yourself, you can help other people do the same. That's what I think what you and me have done. You know, we've gone through and we're obviously still doing work and changing ourselves every single day, but now we're out here doing our best to help other people
Yeah.
change their worlds, change their lives. So they can
And
be the
how
same
good is
people.
it?
Yeah. Feels great. I love it.
It brings me so much joy seeing someone just be awesome.
Mhm. Be themselves.
I got a phone call with a client yesterday, well, an old client of mine, my friends now, and just hearing her voice and hearing how much she's changed. And there were some seeds that I planted a few months ago that finally dropped, and I was just like, you know what? That's pretty fucking cool. I
Mhm.
just took a moment. I was on the phone, and I was like, fuck, you've come such a long way. That's so awesome. And yeah, like you plant those seeds, sometimes they grow. Well, they do grow, they just take a bit. And then she was saying some stuff yesterday. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like I helped grow that.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love hearing back from the people I've worked with and just like, man, you've gone so far. Like, that's so amazing. Like, it's just like, it is amazing to think about, like, I helped someone do that. And at the end of the day, right, no one can make you change. You got to be
No.
the one to change. It's also something to realize, too. Like, if you guys do work with us, you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
We can obviously be there to help guide you, help show you what we went through so you don't make some of the same mistakes we've made. But, you know, it's
We give you all the
it's a
yeah,
self journey. Yeah, it's a self journey.
we give you all the tools you need. We give you all the reprogramming that you need to go out there and be awesome.
Yep.
We literally show you the door and you just walk through it.
Mhm.
Like the saying, leading the horse to water. Well, we're leading you to the water. It's up to you to drink it.
Yep.
We're gonna program you to drink it though. That's the difference. We're actually gonna program you to drink it. We're gonna program you to walk through that door. We're gonna program you to envision that best version of yourself and walk up to him or her and be like, I want to be you. You already are that person. When you come and have a session with me, I see that version of you. I see the best in you. You may
Mhm.
not see it, but I see it. I'm going to help you see it to then stepping into that version of you.
Yep. True. A lot of powerful work for sure.
It is. It's awesome,
I
bro.
love it.
2024, hey? Tanner, what's your New Year's resolution for 2024?
Well, I'm gonna start journaling, but I haven't done,
Fuck yeah. If
surprisingly. So I'm gonna add some journaling in my life.
you want to amplify your
Uh,
journaling, Tanner, find 5 things you're grateful for. And actually, you know what you should do? This is something for everyone else too. If you all want to start journaling, you're listening to me and Tanner, or you've just found this podcast just by chance, which happens quite a lot. People message me and go, I just found your podcast. I'm like, awesome. Here's a message for you. Find what you were grateful for from 2023. 5 things you were grateful for from 2023. I'm going to do that as well. Actually, I'm going to do it tonight. 5 things. What are 5 things you were grateful for 2023?
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Reflect on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Think
and
about.
what's today? The 24th. So this will go up. You've still got a few days left. Just reflect back on your year. And if you feel like you've had a bad year, you've had a rough year, the universe or the world's against you, I'm sure you'll find 5 things that you're grateful for. Your family, your friends, grateful for the journey that you're on, grateful for what you have, grateful for who you are, grateful. You might
Being
even be
alive.
great. Yeah, being alive, being able to breathe, fresh air. You know, there is always 5 things we can find that we're grateful for. And yeah, that's an interesting reflection. I might do that as well. Take my own advice here. Yeah, find 5 things I'm grateful for.
So what's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution, Tanner, is to actually implement this program in schools. I'm just going to put it out there now. You just gave me the
Nice.
pep talk that I needed to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Put myself out there.
Love it.
And I just said that live on air, and we're not editing that either. It's time for me
Oh,
now
you
to
got
really
this.
step into this. Yeah. I've sat in that for too long. I'm just going to be, people want to get to know me better. Well, I'm just going to not sit in that for too long now and be like, you know what? I am worthy of that. I am going to just make
Mhm.
this happen. It's on my vision board too. So it's like, okay, the time is now. Yeah, they're on school holidays, but as soon as their day one's back, they're getting some emails in their inboxes. getting myself out there, and it's time.
Yep. I
So
love it.
My New Year's resolution is to grow me and to grow my business. Well, my business will grow when I grow. So it's like my New Year's resolution is to grow more.
Mhm.
Like I've grown so much this year, reflecting back, but it's like I'm going to grow more next year
Oh yeah.
because then that attracts in everything. So growth. 2024 is the year of growth for me, Tanner.
Yep. I feel
More
that.
growth.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I plant a lot of seeds. Time to
You
harvest and
you planted a
reap
few
some
seeds with me today,
reap the
man.
bounty.
I've just listened and gone, yep, that's relevant to me.
Ah, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And I hope everyone enjoyed that podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed and got something out of that for their 2024. And just remember that it doesn't have to be this way. And your best self is right there. And all it takes is for you to see it, for someone to see it within you to ignite that spark. And we all have that spark. And if there's one thing for 2024, if you're listening and you're stuck and you're a bit low and stuff, just remember that that you're working as designed and it's not really you at heart. And if you want to go on a journey of growth, then you can strip back all those layers, all those things, and you'll find yourself and you'll find that home and comfort in your heart once again. And that's a beautiful thing to remember is that all these things haven't happened by luck or by chance. They've happened because you're just working as designed. And the information that Tanner and I have can literally transform your life in a matter of moments, minutes. Like this information is so powerful. And if you think about it on a global level, right, that this information is so powerful that they can literally orchestrate humanity to destroy themselves.
Mhm.
The information that Tanner and I have at our disposal, I could easily go and reprogram you, Tanner, to go and destroy yourself, but I don't want to do that. I want to see the best in you. I see the best in you. I want to help drive you there. We have this information to literally transform you into a real king and a real queen in your life. And that's fucking awesome because we don't want to destroy you. We want to see you step into your true innate potential because the more people that do that changes the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that because like the vision I have for my life, for my future involves other people who are in their
100%
power. Involves other people who are
like a
moving forward
community,
and becoming leaders and becoming,
a
you know,
community.
authentically themselves. A community. Yeah, exactly. So I completely agree with that. I don't want to live in a world where a bunch of people are being not themselves and being programmed for their worst lives and, you know, have a bunch of depression, obesity, and
That's the thing I
function.
wanted to say. Just imagine, just step back and just analyze, not analyze, even just go, that programming is so negative and so self-destructive. And just imagine if that script was flipped and that all that programming wasn't fear, hate, loathe, self-destruction, self-implosion, that it was love, harmony, peace, joy, happiness, and everyone bettering themselves. Imagine that programming. That's what we can do, both of us. That same programming that they have on their screens and in their stuff to go away and help you destroy yourself, we have that same information. We've just flipped the script towards self greatness.
This is some of my programming on you guys right now, everyone, Nathan. And you guys watching, I'm enough. I'm getting
100%.
programmed right now. We got the
Yeah.
blue on. We got the blue shirt on. Yep.
That's the thing, That's the thing. Everyone listening and watching that's listened and watched, that information, that programming. Yeah. Just imagine if that whole script was flipped. One day it will be. Just imagine if that script was flipped.
I feel like it's happening. It's in progress, right? More and more people are becoming aware of what's going on, and it's just a matter of time now. You know, lots of people are just like us, where they've worked on themselves, maybe worked with someone else, and now they're going out there to help other people. And the
It's
more that
awesome
of
to
people that
see.
do that, Yeah, it's spreading.
I just want to tell you a quick story. It just made me so proud, right? My client that was 19, she's awesome. She'll listen. She told me yesterday, Tanner, she's like, I've started writing my book. She's 19, man.
Nice.
She has started writing her book about her journey. And I just wanted to share that and be like, I'm so damn proud of that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
It was
beautiful.
like, yesterday when I heard it and read the message, I was like, that's just 19 and going for it, man. And that's the difference we can make with anyone. Doesn't matter how old you are. Like, I only worked with her 3 months ago and she's already started writing her book. Like, that's how quick this can happen.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
19, man,
That's
and has
quick.
started her
That's
book.
super.
Yep.
Wow. I
I
can only
know.
imagine if I started doing what I'm doing now at when I was 19, where
Oh,
I'd be now. Like,
10 years,
that's awesome.
we'd have
Yeah.
10 years, you know. I said to her
Yeah.
yesterday, I said, you've got 10 years on me. And I said, that's so awesome. Watch out, world, when she comes in. Look out. When she steps out into the world, watch out, Tanner.
Mhm.
Could be a 3-person podcast, man. She's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll have to have her on to talk about her book. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we will. She'll listen and watch this, but it'll be good. Little shout
Ha.
out.
Perfect. Hey,
Yeah.
has your book come out yet?
Next year, 2024, man. That's part of the year of growth.
Woo! I'm
I know.
excited.
Breaking
We'll have you
free,
on the podcast to talk about that too.
teens and young adults guide to identifying their addictions and overcoming them. It's time for that too. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful.
That's my
I love
program
it.
in schools. For those anyone that is in schools at the moment, that book will be my program in them.
It's awesome. You can change
Tanner,
some lives.
that was an awesome podcast, bro. We sort of just shot
Yeah,
the
I'm
breeze for the
super
last
grateful.
20 minutes. We're not editing any of this. We'll just post it as is.
No. Yeah, definitely. I think that was I mean, we still talked about important information, right?
We
Like
did.
it's, and I think hopefully people, some of our listeners can relate. If you guys did relate, if you guys have any questions or just want to,
Yeah, drop us a
say
comment.
something to us, drop us a comment. We both check each other's videos, I think.
Yep.
Try to see if people are commenting. And if one of one's, if like one of us misses it, we can let the other one know. But and shoot this around. Give us a like, a
Yep. It's
subscribe.
Tanner, if
It
someone has
helps.
just come across this podcast and doesn't know where to find you, where can they find you?
Yeah. Well, you
Because
can find
sometimes I
me.
get messages like that. They're like, I don't know. I've just watched your podcast. I've only just found you. We'll just shoot it out there.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, on Rumble. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok now. You can find me on Twitch as well. So you can look for Tanner the Mind Hacker. That's where I go by because I
Yep.
hack people's minds for their best lives. And so yeah, look up Tanner the Mind Hacker. We should have our descriptions and our links. If you guys look down below, you just have a link directly to it. So make sure you guys check that out. And actually, I think I'll have to set you. My links might have slightly changed because I altered some of my names on my social media. So I'll have to send you those links. Just make sure you have the right ones.
Yep. Send them through. And you can find me on my website, teenagesabotage.com, and find me on Instagram as my name. I've joined TikTok as well, Tanner. I've got into that game now, and it's interesting. I just
Yeah,
post and leave because I don't get
yeah,
stuck watching stuff. But yeah, it's
that's
interesting.
good.
Yeah, it's Nathan Francis 222 if you want to follow me on TikTok. If you have TikTok, all the links will be in the bottom.
Yep. Yeah, definitely make sure you guys check out if you're on my side. You guys aren't following Nathan, make sure you guys follow his
And if
podcast,
you do have a
all of his
question,
stuff.
or if you do have a
Yep.
question or a query and you don't want to express it on comments, then DM me or shoot me an email. Don't shoot me an email. Send me an email. Nathan Francis. No, Nathan's. Start again. Nathan self-sabotage at gmail.com.
Yep. And shoot me an email, tannerthemindhacker@gmail.com. We're always here
Beautiful.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Always here.
Thanks for coming on, Tanner. That was awesome, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hosting. Always grateful.
This has
So
been the Breaking Free podcast. Thank you for listening and watching wherever in the world you are. This has also been Tanner's podcast as well. So thank you, Tanner's audience, for listening and watching wherever in the world you are as well. We will see you guys in 2024 for another edition of the Nathan Tanner Show.
yeah, maybe a round table coming up. Well, we have some more round tables in the works. We'll have some of those coming
Yes.
too.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Become the best version of you and reach out and ask for help.
Start now.
Start now. See you guys soon.
All right.
Cheers.
See you guys.
See ya.